Good evening, everyone. Stay with us today as we go over the immigration crisis, the numbers behind it, and what's being done. This is the Martin Memo. The Martin Memo. Let's start with the mess that Trump walked into when he first took over. First of all, to understand how bad the immigration was under the Biden-Harris regime, we have to dive into the numbers that support it. It was an absolute atrocity that the Biden-Harris regime had laid upon us as far as immigration. It was practically a wide-open border. Now let's dive into these numbers here. So the total encounters, there were 14 million total encounters at the border. Here are the scarier numbers behind that. How many completely evaded detection in total? They estimate 7 to 8 million completely evaded detection altogether. Could be your neighbor, could be down the street, could be in the supermarket. We do not know where these people are. Completely evaded detection, living across our country abroad. Now here's the worst number that I really don't want to talk about, but it is worth mentioning. There are 300,000 missing migrant children. 300,000. Again, we do not know where these children are. They could be with their family safe. They could be dead. They also could be slave labor, like in a weed farm that we had seen not too long ago in California. We don't know where these children are. We do not know. That should scare you. How did our government fail us so bad that we lost track of 300,000 migrant children? That is absolutely abysmal. I don't understand why that happened in our country. That is horrific. That is horrific. Now, I can't say it's all bad because we are righting the ship. It is fair to mention that. So here are some things that support that. As of June 2025, the U.S. immigrant population dropped from 53.3 million in January to 51.9 million. That is a decline, the first that we have had in 50 years. That is huge. As mentioned, unauthorized immigrants hit a record 14 million in 2024, but deportations are slashing that number. ICE arrests have doubled, targeting criminals first. The media keeps trying to portray it as if they're going after these innocent families who have lived here for such a long time and all that. That is not the case. Do some get caught in the crosshairs? Of course, they're not just going to ignore an illegal immigrant, but they are prioritizing the worst of the worst first. In fact, 752 murderers have now been taken off our streets and have been sent home. They are deported. They are gone out of our country. These are good things. 1,600 sexual assault convicts are gone and out of our country. These are great numbers. We do not want these people in this country. We want them the hell out of here. And again, these are not just stats. They aren't just stats. As much as I can read them off the screen or the notebook, they are threats that the Trump administration is neutralizing before they strike our families, before they strike you, before they strike me, before they strike all of us. They are neutralizing and getting rid of the worst individuals within this country. I also want to shift focus a little bit to that cartel boat that was blown up, which here it is. I think this is great. I think this is a great approach. For too long, we have been going easy on these individuals. Typically, what had happened in prior administrations is the Coast Guard or whatever operation, they went and they would shoot like the engine block, and then they'd come and arrest the individuals and take care of the drugs. I don't like that approach. I think we need to be direct. Peace through strength. Peace through strength. We need to take care of these people that are coming into our country, pouring illegal drugs all over our country, killing American citizens, thousands upon thousands. This should never have happened. I am glad we are finally taking a no-nonsense approach to this and obliterating our enemies who try to kill our innocent Americans within our country. This is good. This is common sense. This is what we voted for. These are great things. Get rid of the worst and stop the drug crisis from entering our country. Now, I want to talk about something that the mainstream media calls a conspiracy, but frankly, I think it is the plain truth, and that is the great replacement theory. What is the Great Replacement Theory? Well, the Great Replacement Theory warns that mass immigration is diluting native populations. You could easily make that argument for what has been done over the past 4 years. I don't think that the entire Great Replacement Theory is all correct, but I believe this aspect is important. Additionally, I want to focus in on a couple key words. Replacing them with newcomers who don't share our values. Don't share our values. Now, as much as the media wants to peddle that it is some race-driven, theory, it's not all about that. They don't share our values, especially from the Middle East. They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in capitalism. They don't believe in what America is, what we were founded on. They don't believe in that. It's not about race. As much as the media wants to peddle that narrative, it is very much about values and assimilation into our society, which a lot of the people, especially from the Middle East, do not share. These are good things that we are cleaning up. We are cleaning up people that do not share the common interest within majority of America. Now, I want to say that critics debunk this as white nationalism, but let's look at the data. It's not a conspiracy when the numbers scream it. The U.S. foreign-born population was exploding pre-Trump, from 40 million in 2010 to 53 million by the 2025 start. That is almost an average of 1 million a year. We're taking care of it. Now, it's also worth noting that as much as the media wants to say that Trump is inhumane and he's getting rid of all these people, deporting all these people, they literally called President Obama deporter-in-chief. Because over his tenure, he got rid of 2.5 million individuals. He deported 2.5 million individuals. Trump has not touched that yet. I believe he will get there in this term, but he has not touched that yet. And if you want to look at even more staggering numbers, Bill Clinton deported over 12 million individuals. 12 million individuals, but yet Trump is he's the bad guy, right? It's only because there's an R next to his name and not a D next to his name. I was joking this week, but I believe it's actually true. It is no wonder that the Democrats are all in on immigration. They're too busy aborting their own future voters to grow the base the old-fashioned way. Let's think about it. With birth rates dipping below replacement levels, thanks to their pro-choice push, they're left importing a ready-made electorate from the south of the border. That is the facts. Now, speaking of electorate, let's look at the states with the highest illegal immigrant populations. They're overwhelmingly voting for Democrats. It's no coincidence. California tops the list with 2.3 million unauthorized immigrants, and they went blue for Harris in 2024. It's the same with New York, who have 800,000 illegal immigrants. Same with New Jersey, 500,000 illegals. Illinois, 450,000. Blue, 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 all for Harris this last election. Now, to be clear, red states like Texas have 1.8 million and Florida has 1 million, but here is the big kicker. Here is the big kahuna right here. Those blue states, they do not require a voter ID to vote. That's right. They don't require a voter ID. Neither do 14 other states. They do not ask for any identification at the polls, and most happen to be Democratic safe havens. It's no wonder they stay blue. It's an open invitation for non-citizens to swing elections. Coincidence? Absolutely not. It is straight out of the replacement playbook. With all that being said, Trump's crackdown, we're reversing it. As Vivek Ramaswamy said, the grand replacement theory is not some grand right-wing conspiracy theory, but is a basic statement of the Democratic Party's platform. They want votes and cheap labor. We want sovereignty. So it's not just an American problem. Europe is being plagued by it. And if we look really into France, over the last decade, they have seen a 20% increase in immigrant population, specifically from the Middle East. These are terrible numbers. I don't know why the West has some need to want to aid all these people and say that they were the problem and all of this. No. This is the wrong mentality, and this is why all these Western countries keep allowing the stream of immigration to enter their countries. Again, it's not just about race, it's also about economics. Deportations protect jobs. Research shows mass removals could hit immigrant-heavy sectors like construction or landscaping, but that is the point. Now we are freeing up slots for citizens. Liberals mainstream this is fear by ignoring it. Now Trump is fixing it. So as mentioned before, what is the Trump admin's playbook? It is aggressive, it is effective, it is execute orders like ending, catch, and release. And also, one of the best things that I believe is out there is the self-deportation app. 57,000 have registered on that self-deportation app, and now that is saving the taxpayers, that is saving you billions of dollars. And on crime, in the first 100 days, ICE has arrested folks with 9,639 assault convictions, 6,398 DUIs, and 1,479 weapons charges on top of the other numbers mentioned before. This is putting criminals first. In fact, 3/4 of the targets have been criminals. I mean, everyone is a criminal coming into the country illegally, but they are prioritizing, again, the worst of the worst. We should not have murderers on our streets. We should not have sexual predators on our streets. We should not have these people on our streets. That is real public safety. Removing threats before they become the next headline tragedy. This is what I voted for. This is what I'm sure majority of you voted for. Is there going to be an economic toll? Sure. Some businesses are going to hurt, but that is short-term hurt for long-term American gain. We are returning to normalcy within this country, and I am all for it. Now let's move on to one of my favorite segments of the show, and that is the cold monologue. So you might be asking yourself, what is the cold monologue? Well, you all ask questions on our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever it may be. You ask questions. The executive producer writes them down, puts them in a hat, and then I pick one of these questions that you ask us on our social media. I have no knowledge on what these questions are. They're given to me. You are getting a pure, authentic reaction straight from me. So let's go ahead and dive into it. There's multiple in here. We're not making this up. What are your thoughts on people thinking the rapture would happen this week? Excellent question. As a Christian, I think it's always good to be prepared. I think that's the right thing to do. I think it's good to submerge yourself in Scripture, whether you believe in the Christian religion or whether you believe in Jewish, Muslim, whatever it may be. I think it's always good to submerge yourself within the Scripture. Did I think it was going to happen? No. I do not believe it was going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen within the next 100 years or if it's going to happen within the next 10. We don't know. And that is the beauty of it. It's to keep us always ready and keep us strong within our faith, because we never know when the big man himself is going to come down and call us all home. I do not believe that the rapture was going to happen. I think it's always good to be prepared. I didn't think it was going to happen, but kudos to all those people out there who thought that it was happening, because they're staying prepared, and that's all you can ask for. But I personally did not think it was going to happen this past week. So, with all that being said, that is all we have in store for today. Coming next Tuesday, we sit down and interview an author of a new book that is out currently. Please share your thoughts on X. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Martin Memo. Subscribe to us on YouTube, and let's grow this community together. Now, in case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. This is the Martin Memo. The Martin Memo.